We're this close to crowning an NBA champ, and with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. There are only 4 teams left, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odd boosts, and so much more.
Think the T-Wolves will continue their hot streak? Or maybe you feel that the Pacers' Cinderella run continues. Throw up to $1,500 with DraftKings no sweat bet. New customers can deposit at least $5 and you'll get a bonus bet back equal to your first bet if it doesn't hit.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins, Jenkins, for new customers to get a no sweat bet up to $1,500 if your first bet doesn't hit. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Welcome to Jenkins Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Tuesday, June 4th, and it's our NBA Finals preview-tacular. Previews.
Spectacular.
You got to keep all of this.
Spectacular.
You got to keep every bit of this.
Previews spectacular? That's too many words.
Let's just...
As always, Jenkins and Jonez is hosted by LeJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's that, Bubbas?
Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
I'm Gardy B, a.k.a. Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
Fucking Mike.
And we're produced, as always, by the lovely and talented and Celtics fan, Jackson Safflon.
What's up?
All right, we're going to talk about the finals. Starts on Thursday. You got a couple of days. Boy, it's been the longest fucking layover ever. And at the end of the show, we would do predictions. Who's going to win and in how many games. So, y'all could put us on freezing cold takes or whatever you do with the predictions. First of all, this has been they got to do something about this.
It takes the
bullshit
joy away from it. You know what I mean? It kind of yeah.
You see how nasty the Caitlin Clark dialogue is to fill the vacuum of the finals taking 10 days to start, bro. It's horrible, bro.
I think that's just been, I don't, it's one of the few times where I'm like, everybody's annoying. You know what I mean? Like we talk about in the group chat. Like I feel like everything I hear about it, every time there's some people that are speaking, intelligently about it, but every comment I see on Twitter, I'm like, like you said, everybody's 30% wrong, at least.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Hey, look, I enjoy a good Twitter scuffle more than anybody, and I want no parts of this shit. That conversation does not look fun at all, bro. I feel like there is no fun to be had in that. There's nothing intellectually rewarding to gain from it. That conversation looks like the beaches of fucking Normandy, bro. I want no parts of that shit. Hell no.
I think part of it is because it's a lot of people that didn't really watch the sport. You know what I mean? That are now watching it,
yes,
and feel like they need have to have an opinion in it. You know what I mean? But it's just like, bro, just you can chill. I mean, part of it's I haven't watched the WNBA like consistently like I am now in a long, long time. I got a lot to fucking learn. You know what I'm saying about these players. So yeah, I think people jumping in and come on, you ain't got to pretend, my nigga. You know what I mean? We know what time it is. So.
A lot of people are pretending a lot of things, but I was actually not intending to drive the podcast towards the topic that we all
I've been avoiding.
Feel like every conversation about has been a dumb conversation, but I do feel like they should do something about the layoff. It drops so much momentum to have you go through a full week with no games. It's just I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, maybe it means everyone's healthier. If we get a better version of Luka, if Kristaps is playing, I guess that's good. But it does feel like if you have a sweep in a 5-game series, we should be playing tonight. At tonight or tomorrow at the very latest, as opposed to Thursday is like, I don't know. It feels crazy. Do y'all feel like they should switch that up, or are you enjoying the time to breathe and consider and really grind the film of the Mavs Celtics regular season matchups
and consider? Go ahead.
I mean, I don't mind the layoff personally. I'm bored out my mind without having playoff basketball, but Luka's been having this incredible postseason on 1.5 good knees. You know what I mean? Like he needs some time to rest up. Lively had a fucking concussion. Like he needs some time to rest up. Kristaps might be coming back for the finals, which would be great. Like I don't mind them having this time to like recoup and hopefully we get a good series where everyone is as close to 100% as possible.
Yeah, considering like the context, you know what I mean? Yeah, like a lot of the good players are hurt. It's good in that way, but like it just feels weird to build something up so much and then snatch it away for so long. This doesn't feel like an intermission. It feels like the playoffs stopped and
Yeah.
are restarting. You know what I'm saying? So it's just such a long break. But yeah, like considering what Tyler was saying, for sure. I mean, I'm happy that people will be healthy while playing and we can get the best playoffs possible. But I mean, there has to be something in between this shit, dog. Give us something. God
11
damn.
days off for the Celtics,
Yeah.
who are weaponizing time, according to according to the head coach.
Of course he said that.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Was there a day when Luka would have been recovered from the knee injury, but Kristaps couldn't play? Because that is the day that they should have started the finals.
Probably today.
See, they
is
should
the day.
be playing
Probably
today.
today.
Jackson, God damn it.
I feel like the real answer is like holding the NBA awards until this week or something.
Yeah,
Like that.
so I don't know, something like that. All right, well, let's get into the series. Jackson, you are a Celtics fan. Despite being from Seattle, you were a Celtics fan. Interesting. You know, I don't feel like we talk about that enough. Yeah.
You feel like we can give you a hard enough time? That's what we meant?
Yeah.
You want to give him a harder time for
You
that?
don't think we talk
No,
about that
I don't
enough?
know. We barely talk about it. What's the last time I brought that up? Years.
Never.
Maybe
I don't think you
never.
ever brought it up.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't relate.
Yeah. Well, I am a Celtics fan, and I am from Seattle.
So how are you as a Celtics fan who's not from Boston but is just sort of like a West Coast?
I think it's nice to not be from Boston and be a Celtics fan because I can provide myself a little healthy separation from all of the jokes about Celtics fans.
Do you think you can
It's nice.
separate yourself from those jokes?
In my own mind and body, and in my own therapy sessions, I
Do
definitely
you think
can.
do you think
So-
we should separate you from those jokes?
Hey man,
We're not his concern. We're not your concern.
That's exactly right. I'm focused on 48 minutes, game 1 on Thursday. I'm locked in.
How do you, as a Celtics fan
focused on-
from Seattle, feel about the Celtics' chances? They are the overwhelming betting favorites. They've had 11 days off. They are a super team, and they'll be fully healthy. And they've had the easiest path to a championship ever. So, how do you feel about about your, well, not your, because you're from Seattle. How do you feel about the Boston Celtics NBA championship chances, Jackson?
I think they should be favored, assuming Kristaps is healthy, which I don't know. There hasn't been real reporting about it, but the energy seems to be that he's going to play, the vibes that he's going to play. I think, like I've said before, that I do think they're the best equipped team to beat Dallas in the entire NBA, which is weird to say. Like, even though the Celtics are the favorite, I feel like there's a lot of Dallas is having a moment. Luka's having a moment, momentum, rightfully so. And I think even more than the Timberwolves, they're better equipped to beat Dallas, both because they, despite maybe not having a single defender at the Jaden McDaniels caliber, they have 4 very capable defenders as opposed to the Timberwolves, who, like, if you're switching Luka on, like Mike Conley onto Luka, you're cooked, right? And so I think they have more defensive bodies to throw at those guys, and they have more offensive firepower, dramatically more offensive firepower than a team like the Timberwolves, just for example. So in that sense, I think it's a good matchup. Matchup wise, it's good for the Celtics. I think they have more players who, like, they obviously have a better starting 5, like we said, and they have pretty good depth, but it's not depth just for, like, depth's sake. Like, their 5th best player, Derek White, is capable of winning a playoff game by himself, right? Which not a lot of teams can say, and the Mavericks certainly cannot say. Outside of Luka and Kyrie, I mean, we've seen it happen once or twice this postseason that PJ Washington has hit like 7 threes or 8 threes. So, like, that's probably another guy, if he's guarding Tatum really well also and hits a bunch of threes, who could, like, win you a playoff game, quote unquote. But outside of him, I think that's it. So for Dallas. So in that sense, from a roster standpoint, I think the Celtics are a pretty dramatic favorite in that sense. But like we've talked about, more often than not, in the biggest moments, in the biggest games in this league, it comes down to who's got the guy or the 2 guys who can close it out and who can bring you home. And we all think, justifiably so at this point, based on the Mavericks the Mavericks players' track record and the Celtics players' track record, that with a minute left, the Mavericks have 1A and 1B, and the Celtics have 2 and beyond. Like, the Mavericks have 2 better closers, and the Celtics even have 1. So that's a terrifying thing.
How do y'all feel about that? Do you agree? I mean, I'm first of all, we would all be anxious if I'm rooting for the Lakers and Braun's on the team and they're favored to win, 40-1, we'd all be just as nervous as you are. So obviously that's just the human response. But do you think, Jackson, you guys feel like the Celtics are the more complete team wins, or do you think he's right to be anxious about getting closed out by Luka and Kyrie?
I think this is a classic matchup of the deeper team versus the team that has the best player in the series, right? Which is why, like, we loved the fucking Warriors Cavs rivalry until KD came in and fucked that all up. It was the same dynamic there, and I think I'm going with the team with the best player, bro. I'm going with Dallas here, man. I think that I totally agree with everything Jackson said. The Celtics are a deeper team. They're a team that's not going to be, fucked over on the switch like Minnesota was. They're a team that's going to hold their own there. But I'm just not betting against Luka this postseason, bro. I think Luka is going to go crazy. I think he's going to probably average like 35, 8, and 9 these finals, be finals MVP. I think it goes 6.
I agree with Jackson. The more I've been thinking about this shit, like I've had a year to fucking think about it. Like they have, like you said, Derek White, the 5th best player, and he can drop 35 in a fucking game. You know what I'm saying? One thing that bothers me though is that even though I think the Celtics ceiling is so much higher, I think their median is lower. And so that's where I'm at with it. Like their median is lower than the Mavs to me, but their ceiling is so much higher. So I'm just wondering, I can't imagine Jaylen Brown and Tatum just completely shitting the bed because that's what it would take because they're so deep. I think they'll be good enough, to have like those supporting cast with the supporting cast to win. So I just don't see, like, when you have the 5th best player in your team that could be a 30 ball and is just such a good defender as well, like on both ends of the court is just a plus consistently. I don't know, bro. It seems like a very difficult task. But I think if 2 players could pull it off, you know what I'm saying, is Luka and Kyrie. But just thinking about like the teams alone, I think the Celtics are such a better team. But yeah, we'll see we'll see what happens.
If you're looking for matchups that are exciting, or you're looking for there's so many arguments you can build in either direction. Here's one argument that can go in either direction, but that's what's exciting about it to me. The Celtics are a historically efficient offense. We've seen them score 130, almost 140 points in playoff games. The Mavericks, since Jason Kidd moved to the current starting lineup, the best defense in the league in points per 100 possessions, and I think would be on pace for almost 70 wins if they'd played that group, if they'd had that group, first of all, after the trade and played that starting group for the whole season. They'd be on pace for, I think it was 68 wins or something like that. So I don't know, that's your argument for either team. For the Celtics, is it going to surprise you if the Celtics come out and score an insane number of points? No, that's not, because of what you just said, the depth and the ability to be reactive to whatever a defense is doing. Is it going to surprise you if the Mavericks continue to be an incredible defense? No, they went through 3 of the top 4 seeds in the West and looked that way every time. So that's the argument in either direction. I will say, there's not a lot of times I go with a great defense over a great offense. But I have found a way to talk myself into the Mavericks. So we will.
I don't think it's that hard for me to talk yourself into it, man. When you talk about how good their defense has been, it feels very, I mean, we talked about the comparison, 25-year-old Luka versus 25-year-old Braun. It doesn't feel like a 25-year-old Braun team. It feels like a Cleveland Cavaliers. We set up this perfect roster of guys who can play defense and also score and shoot. And there's a lob threat. You got Kyrie alongside of it. Like, it feels very 2016 LeBronian when you think about the roster construction. And then that is what's scary to me, is it's not just, oh, we have this offensive wizard. We have this offensive wizard, plus we have the best defense in the NBA over the last 3 months. Like, that is the formula.
I really liked you saying that. That made me very happy.
It's crazy because, like, most of the analysis, and rightfully so, on this show, as well as, nationally, has been the Celtics have the best team in basketball. No one's
Mhm.
debating that. They had 60 whatever wins. They beat the East by however many games.
One
But
of the
we
most
just don't
efficient
trust them.
offenses in the history of the league, while
Right.
also
But we
having
just simply
great
don't
perimeter
trust them.
defenders. Yeah.
Absolutely. Everything complimentary you can say about the Celtics is justified. They've been an unbelievable team this year. But no one still, there are however many teams that we quote unquote trust in these moments more than them. And what's interesting about this series, though, and how well, to your point, that Dallas is playing defensively in addition to having Luka and Kyrie, is this is the only team maybe the Nuggets, but like we saw enough weakness with them with their lack of depth. But I think Dallas is one of the few teams, if not the only team, that I'm like, man, if the Celtics are playing maybe not A+ basketball for the whole series, if they play A+ basketball, they're
Agreed.
beating anybody, in my opinion.
For sure.
But if they play A- basketball, I think they're beating most teams in the NBA.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah.
But the Dallas is one of those few teams where you're like, even if the Celtics are playing A- basketball, and you're like, they're not really playing bad in any way. I still think Luka and Kyrie and that defense and that roster and that coaching and everything could be good enough to beat them if they're playing close to their best basketball, which is the part where I was like, oh man, every other team, you're like, if they play their game, chalk it up. But Dallas, I don't know.
Do you think the Celtics need to play A+ basketball to win the series? There's no.
No, I don't think they need
not.
to.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just think that against most teams, A- Celtics basketball of this season is good enough to beat every other team in 5 games, pretty much. But against Dallas, it might not be.
Okay.
Maybe it is. Maybe it will be enough. But there's a chance that Luka and Kyrie just can do enough to overcome the avalanche that is the Celtics when they're clicking.
How do we feel about Kyrie going back to Boston?
I think it's going to be hilarious. I think it's going to be hilarious because, for one, that is a dude who does not get rattled. Like, he is going to take all the heckling and he is going to internalize that shit and he is going to go out there and go crazy, right? Like, it is going to be a fool's effort to try to rattle that dude with heckling, bro. You're only going to motivate him. And you know, he does not like the Celtics on a personal level. Like, that motherfucker bought Sage through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, it is bad vibes in this fucking arena. You know, so yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the hecklers, because we know Boston hecklers. We know the lines they cross. I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to Kyrie shutting them the fuck up.
That's the one. Like, y'all know I love Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoy watching the fuck out of him, but there's nobody I love more than, like, the crib. You feel me? So, like, I'm rooting for Tatum because, like, it's just impossible for me to root against black people from St. Louis, because it'll be like I told you on the group chat. It'll be like the Cardinals won, the black people, if Jayson Tatum pulls it off. You know what I mean? Because he's just a big fucking deal to us. You know what I mean? So I can't root against Tatum, but, like, being in any way connected to those fucking fans truly disgusts me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that Kyrie proves them shuts them the fuck up, and they also lose, because I want Tatum to get the W. You know what I mean? But, like, yeah, it's just that I hate shit like that. I truly hate it. I feel it in a particular way. I don't know why. It doesn't. I don't find this shit funny. I think it's disgusting. I hate that shit. Maybe because I've been on the other side of those fans when I was talking about what's his name? Buddy that went 19 for 19, 19 points, 19 shots a game. What's the white man?
Oh, Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy. Yeah, that bitch.
Do you feel like if your hometown was like the way you feel about Boston fans was like if your hometown was like 3,046 miles away from Boston, you feel like that would be too far for you to travel to still be a Celtics fan? I'm not talking about asking John a question. I'm asking John a question. I'm asking John a question.
I don't know if I can travel that far. That's a long way, brother.
It's like 3,399 miles too far. You know,
that's a long way.
But
you know what I mean?
To John's point about, I'm not even a Kyrie supporter necessarily. I've reached probably a level of respect for Kyrie. But however, I will say it would be a pretty nice moment if there's in game 1 or game 2, Dave Portnoy sitting courtside saying whatever he says to Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving. Well, I want Kyrie Irving. I actually genuinely, I'm in full agreement with John here. I obviously want the Celtics to win the series. I'm not saying anything even close to the opposite of that. But if Kyrie Irving, it would be pretty nice. A guy who's, like Tyler said, very calm and collected. Very calm and collected. Never rattled. If he just pulls some Luka, motherfucker, at Dave Portnoy after a big shot, whoo-wee.
I truly hate that Tatum plays for the Celtics. I hate it. Dave Portnoy? Like, this is who I'm like somewhat aligned with. I don't want to be aligned with him in anything on the fucking planet. You know what I'm saying? I just, God, like, it's such a St. Louis thing. Like,
y'all going through what I went through with Nick Bosa, and I love that all three of us have had to go through that. Meanwhile, Tyler's over there like, I just wouldn't root for them.
Yeah. If Allen Iverson played for the Celtics, you'd be like, fuck Allen Iverson.
I don't even want to think of that shit.
I'm saying, yes, but this is what I have to deal with, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? A nigga from the crib who I saw in high school, you know what I'm saying? Who, like, is from the crib. Like, I know people that fuck with him,
you
like,
respect
closely.
him as a father.
Cousins. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit.
People in
You know, I know.
common with him, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, know people that fuck with his dad, hella tough, all that shit, bro. You know what I mean? And, like, this is who I have to root against him. Like, you know, I'm like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? But I have to be on the side or align with happiness, you know, Dave Portnoy being happy in some way. It's just so sick. But it's like, that's a St. Louis thing. Like, St. Louis is in Missouri. We say we from St. Louis, USA, because we do not fuck with nothing that go on in the rest of that state. You feel me? And so, like, dog, it's just like, can't get away from white folk, man. Ain't nowhere to go, ain't nowhere to run, nigga. Racism is truly everywhere. God damn. Shit. Golly.
The speed in which Tyler said, I don't even want to think about that.
He was truly disgusted. He was truly disgusted. Like, why would you even say something like that, John? Yeah.
All right. Let's get to predictions. Well, Tyler, you kind of got it going with the Mavericks. So why don't you go Mavericks in how many games?
I got Mavs in 6. Luka, Finals MVP. I think he's going to have a 40 burger or 2 in the series.
Ooh.
Like I said, I think he's probably going to average like 35 points per game. I think this is just going to cap off an all-time postseason run for him. Mavs in 6.
35 a game. And he'll probably need every single one of those points to beat this team. I think that's hard to fucking ask from somebody. I don't know. I'd say Celtics in 6, man. It just doesn't, you know, 35 a game is a lot to ask. And I guess that's how I think I have to play in order to win this series. And I just think that's too much to ask of anybody for real. So unless you're LeBron James. So we'll see though. I would love to see a 30. If he drops 36 a game, 35 a game, and wins the series, I don't think I'd be that sad. Which that'd be incredible to fucking watch.
I think one thing that the stat heads have all been pointing out is Luka is actually, his efficiency numbers for him are actually kind of down this playoffs. Like, there is absolutely room for him to be shooting better, playing better. Obviously, he's been injured, but that is, if you're a Mavs fan, you're leaning on that it's like we could actually see a better version of Luka than we've gotten in the first 3 rounds, and who we've gotten in the first 3 rounds is already great. Leaning on the defense, I think maybe the Celtics win game 1 big and then relax a little bit, and the Mavs take game 2. I'm going with the Mavs in 6 as well. And I'll be honest with you, though. That's like where I want to be. I don't feel good about the prediction. I do feel like I'm talking myself into things the way I had to, the way I was the last couple of rounds with the Celtics. The way they've done 2 losses through, I know that they haven't played the top. I know all that. I just feel like it's every round I've been building myself an argument for why they're going to lose. And it's just every round it gets like kicked apart. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't feel good about it. I do think the Celtics are right to be considered the favorites and a juggernaut and everything. I'm just going to see the path through for the Mavericks and go with Mavs in 6. John?
I already said it. Didn't I say it?
Did you say it?
Celtics in 6.
Oh, you did? Yeah. My bad. Jackson?
It's all good. Jackson, yeah.
Celtics in 4?
I would go Celtics in 3 after Luka finds a way to get a game canceled or something from all the referees. No, I think it's Celtics in 6 or 7. I think it's Celtics in 6 or 7. I really do think it's going to be a long series, one that actually, despite it's a very competitive series that probably has game 2 and game 3 is my guess, are the two respective blowouts for each. Like I think there's going to be one blowout each direction, just from like a shooting variance. Both teams shoot a lot of threes and require.
I think if we only
from
get 2 blowouts in this series, I think we feel pretty good about it.
I think 2 blowouts, one each way, and then games 1, 4, 5, 6, and beyond are going to be very, very competitive. I think that I hope the Celtics will win. I think they will win, but we'll see. My question to you guys though is, I wanted to do a little game of like narrative prediction 2.5 weeks from now when the finals have ended. Or what are we talking? Is it Luka's better than Joker? He's the best player in the world. Is it Tatum is now in what caliber? Like what's the prevailing narrative coming out of the NBA finals on June like 23rd or whatever?
It's going to be, is Luka the best player in the world after this run? And I think that's going to be a credible conversation to have. And it's going to be, what the fuck is wrong with the Celtics? like if y'all can't get it done this year, then what year? You know, then win. Like, look, bro, like I said, I'm not going to hold it against y'all if y'all win, you know, being that y'all went to those hobble teams in the East. But if y'all blow this, that is those are valid points on the slideshow to discuss, right? So yeah, I think that's going to be the narrative. Is Luka the best player in the world, and what the fuck is wrong with the Celtics? Will they ever get it done?
I think is Luka the best player in the world for sure. I think if he drops 36 a fucking game, I'm just gonna give it to him. I don't give a fuck if it makes sense or not, nigga. You know what I mean? If he's dropping 36 a game to beat this Celtics team, that is the best player in the world in a moment. We're talking about now. We're not talking about the years, you know, a certain time period. We're talking about this particular moment. He would be the best player in the world at that moment to me if he does that. I think the whole they're young shit with the Celtics. He's only 19. Jayson Tatum shit. I think niggas just tired of that shit. I think this is the year where they have to fucking come through. You know what I mean? People are already saying Jayson Tatum's not top 5 in the league, he's not top 10, and shit like that. They're questioning that stuff. Even like me as a guy that, you know, loves him and wants him to win, I've been like, you know, and we look at his numbers. His numbers are good, but like, when is he doing it? We talk about when is he doing it? In what moments? What are his clutch numbers? We need Jayson Tatum to show like who the fuck he is. You know what I mean? So if he doesn't have a hell of a series, even if the Celtics win and he's not the MVP, like the Finals MVP, or if he's not, you know, JB outplays him, there's gonna be some real questions about like what we think about Jayson Tatum. So I think a lot is on the line, win or lose for Tatum. He has to play well.
We talked about this in the group chat, but you know, they socialed out the clip of you kind of like begging your fellow Saint Lunatic to like, you know, play more aggressively and consistently. And anytime certain clips go up, and I'm prepared to like mute them immediately. You know what I mean?
I muted it immediately. I muted it and went back and visited, and it was like, what?
Right. We're like, we all thought like, oh, we're gonna have so many Celtics fans in there, whatever. And instead, you go back and look through all the replies, and it's all people adding Jayson Tatum, like, please listen to this man. Like, he cares about you. He like
he's from St. Louis.
It's all
I know
frustrated Celtics fans and St. Louis people being like, yes, like, please do. And so that was surprising. I don't really remember. Usually our athlete fandom is so tribalistic at this point that you don't see valid criticism accepted in that way by someone's fans. So that was like, I was, yeah. But to Tyler's point, that would be too fun of a day on Twitter if the Celtics blow this. And that's why in my heart of hearts, it's hard for me to believe it's going to happen, because we never get the day we really want. You know what I mean? But this has been the year of the hater.
Yeah, Cat Williams opened that portal, bro. The haters have been thriving in 2024.
That's a real brainworm take for me. That's a real like, I need to lower the screen time limit.
We never get the day we want.
Mike, as a true in your core, to your soul Celtics hater, which of these two scenarios would you prefer happen? The Celtics get swept, or the Celtics are in game? It's in game 7. The Celtics are winning. They're up by like 8 with 4 minutes to go, and Luka just takes over, and Tatum and Jaylen Brown collapse. Joe Mazzulla faints on the court like that.
I think from a perspective of hating the Celtics, of the funniest thing to happen, the game 7 would be very funny. But I think that everyone has a team they love and a team that they hate so much that it's kind of like they love them. The Celtics losing to me is a championship. Like, And so in the same way that as a Lakers fan, I would be like, I just want them to win in 4 so I don't have to stress about it. Like, I will be as miserable with the Celtics in a game 7 as I would be with the Lakers in a game 7 because I have a championship on the. I need the Celtics to lose game 7. So for my personal taste, I would say a 4-game sweep. And also, I mean, they will blow the whole thing up if they get like. I mean, what do you like? How do you run it back? If you like, how do you like save anyone?
I'm gonna take a page out of Tyler's book and say I don't even want it. Why?
You brought it up. It's your hypothetical.
I don't even want to think about it. I know, and I regret it. Okay. Gosh, I wanted you to think about it, not me.
Can you imagine the pain Jackson will be feeling on a live recording if the Mavs steal game 1 and then it's like, hey, they were always gonna like push hard for a sweep. We just gotta come back. And then the Mavs win game 2 by like 30 points.
What's funny about Jackson when like he's trying not to look like he's affected by things when they lose. You know what I mean? But it's his eyes. His eyes tell you everything.
Got wild
I'm just saying. His face is normal. His eyes will tell you everything. And so when we was getting talking and shit, I know Jackson's hurting. I'll feel bad because when I see eyes hurting, I know that's real pain. That's real pain. If the face shows it, if the eyes show it, that's the fucking soul speaking. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to see Jackson have that face. You know what I mean? It hurts me when I see that. But yeah. So yeah. I'm rooting for you, man.
You guys, if the Celtics lose in tragic fashion, I'm gonna be clowned to death by Draymond Green on the Draymond Green show. And then I'm gonna have to return to this pod after that has happened.
We're gonna have some jokes too, buddy.
And hear a 3-hour live special from
Draymond and Dragonfly Jones coming at your head. Lord have mercy on your soul. I pray for you, brother.
It's not good. It's not looking good. I might have to retire.
Might have to go to the Nets.
That's ugly, baby. That's ugly.
All right. You hear what I say? You might have to go to the Nets. You got Draymond and Dragonfly Jones teaming up on your shit. That's a tough scene.
Oh, good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
What happened? It stopped recording. We're good? Okay. All right. That's all the time we got. We will be live after every finals game. Game 1 is Thursday. Game 2 is Sunday. We will be live at youtube.com/@JenkinsandJones, taking questions from the chat. We mentioned it on the last show, but the chat's been absolutely awesome during this playoffs. Come hang out with your fellow Jenkins and Jones fans. And we love hanging out with you guys at night. It's been a lot of fun. So make sure you're at youtube.com/@JenkinsandJones for all the live fun. And if you're listening to it just as a podcast, we fuck with you too. Thanks for listening wherever you are. Finally, basketball, 3 more days, and we'll be there. We'll see y'all Thursday night. Bye.
Jesus.
Bye.
Bye.
Crazy, bro.